All right, so this is the Algebra 1 quick review of factoring completely. And the first example here is kind of an abstract example, but it's really factoring out the common factor. So we have a quantity a minus 1 times the b squared and a quantity a minus 1 times the 9. And we can factor out this common factor. So you get an a minus 1 out, and what's left in is a b squared minus 9. Now I know that's a little abstract, so let me show you something that would make a little bit more sense to you. If I would have had 2x squared, let's say minus, let's say 6. Do you see how I could take out the common 2? Well, let's make it a little bit more realistic, and let's make this a negative 2b. You see how I'd take out the common 2 and I'd have left an x squared minus b? So don't let the fact that you have a parentheses throw you off, all right? Just because it's a minus 1 parentheses, I mean, together that's simply a number, and you're going to factor out that common factor. Okay, well, remember, we have to factor completely. So now we have to deal with this, and what do you recognize that as? And I hope you say a difference of 2 squares. All right, well, erased too much there. So how do we factor a difference of 2 squares? 2 parentheses, right? Plus in the middle of one, minus in the middle of the other. The square root of the front goes in the front, and the square root of the back goes in the back. All right, we've just factored that completely. A quantity a minus 1 times b plus 3 times b minus 3. All right, let me show you one other situation here, factoring completely. All right, remember, first off, factor out any common factors first. So I see a common 3 here. All right, when I do that, I get a 3x cubed plus 5x squared minus 3x minus 5. Now, what I want to do next is I want to try to factor this polynomial, and I want to try trial and error. So 2 parentheses, the fronts have to multiply to 3x cubed, so I'm going to do 3x squared and x. I'm going to try that. And the backs have to multiply to negative 5, and I want a negative 5x squared and negative 3x. Okay, so I'm already watching. So when I put a 5 here, that's going to give me a 15x squared. And if I put the 1 there, it's going to give me a 3x squared. Neither of those work. But what then if instead I do x squared and 3x? Now when I put the 5 here, if it was positive, that's going to give me the 5x squared of the middle. And when I put the negative 1 here, that's going to give me the negative 3x of the middle, and indeed that's the factoring of that. Now, I'm not done, because look what I also have. Again, if you look right here, recognize the difference of 2 squares. So the 3 is going to stay. This difference of 2 squares is going to get factored, and we're still going to have times of 3x plus 5. Let's finish difference 2 squares. Plus in the middle of one, minus in the middle of the other. Square root of the front goes in the front. Square root of the back goes in the back. And we factor that completely. All right? Algebra 1 quick review.